Are we gonna have to change the introduction to this podcast? I think we are. Hi friends, welcome to another episode of the Cozy Cottage Crochet podcast. My name is Hannah. This is a podcast all about crochet, a little bit of knitting, sometimes cross stitch, and generally living the yarniest life possible in St. Petersburg, Florida, where I live. Happy June. Hello, how are you? It is No, it's not Wednesday for me. My brain is mashed potatoes. It's Thursday for me. It is a day at the beginning of June. You will see this on Saturday. And I have so many things to update you on. We've got cross stitch, which is why I said I had to change the intro, because I always say this podcast is about crochet, a little bit of knitting, sometimes sewing. Have I sewed any time recently? No. So I should say rarely sewing, but today I have cross stitch for you. And in fact, I have a finished cross stitch project. So we're gonna start with that because I have a finished object. I have a finished object. I have a finished cross stitch to light my way. And with a finished cross stitch, it's a golden day. I'm a little bit unhinged today. Sorry, not sorry. Welcome to Crazy Town. Let's get started, shall we? If you're looking for me on the internet, this is where I hang out. YouTube is my jam. Sometimes I hang out on Instagram as The Cozy Cottage Crochet. Otherwise, email me, thecozycottagecrochet@gmail.com. I also hang out on Patreon and in the member section of YouTube. So much kid stuff happens in there. Like if you want to see my kiddos, that's where they are. Now, you may, if you've been here before, already have guessed which cross stitch I finished because of the title of this video. The title of this video said, "Have a nice poop." Because indeed, that is the cross stitch that I have finished. It says, "Have a nice poop." This is a kit. It was a gift from my lovely friend Emmy, and it is from Third Daughter, Restless Daughter cross stitch kits. And it came with Aida fabric, which is this fabric that you stitch on, if you don't know. It came with the embroidery floss, looks like this. It came with a needle. It came with the cross stitch chart, and it also came with a frame. Now, they have all kinds of hilarious kits on their website. In fact, one that I saw, I don't think I'm gonna purchase the kit because I could easily, they have a certain way that it looks, but I'm going to kind of take that phrase and make it my own. If you ever watched Arrested Development, it used to be one of my favorite shows. I think the last season was hot garbage, but it was delightful. And one of the sayings in that show is there's always money in the banana stand. And they have a cross stitch kit for there's always money in the banana stand. And I want to make the letters look different and I want to make different bananas. But I think eventually I'm going to make there's always money in the banana stand cross stitch and put that in my house for sure. So I finished it. This was so easy to do because all of these letters are just one stitch wide. It's not a lot. And this is on 11 count Aida fabric. So 11 count means there's 11 holes per inch, and you can get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So the other cross stitch I'm working on, I want to say it's like 8 count. No, it's 14 count. So the more numbers you have, the more holes, right? So if this was 8 count, that would mean it would only have 8 holes per inch. This is 11, so it has 11 holes per inch. The other cross stitch I'm working on is 14 count Aida, so it has 14 holes per inch. So the more holes you have, the smaller your stitches will be, and the less quickly something will work up. The last time I talked about this, I was like, I think I need to get a Q-snap or a hoop or something so that I can stitch on this. A couple people recommended stitching in the hand, which I mistakenly thought was when you just hold the hoop in your hand and you stitch, but no, that actually just means you hold this in your hand without a hoop or a Q-snap of any kind. And I tried that, but my tension was horrendous. So I need, at least for now, I need this to be on a hoop. But then I discovered I actually had a hoop. In fact, I have 2 hoops, this size and a bigger one, because when I bought this prior to my elbow surgery earlier this year, this is like a stand for cross stitch, it came with 2 hoops. And these are actually really nice hoops. Like, this is nice wood. It's not the cheapio you can get a bunch of them for $1 type of wood. So this is a really nice hoop, in fact. This came with a frame. I don't know that I'm going to use the frame. I'll have to see. Because you're supposed to, when you have your 8 up, fold it in half and then fold it in half again. So you fold it like a hot dog and then you fold it like a hamburger, if you ever did origami. And that middle point is where you start your cross stitch. So like, let's say this is the middle point, you could just start working from there. I did not do any folds. I just put it on the hoop and I just eyeballed it. And you can see that there's a little more space up top than there is on the bottom. So what I may in fact do is trim this down and get a smaller frame for it. And then if this will fit lengthwise, I think it will when it's done, use this frame for my other cross stitch that I'm working on, which I will talk about in a second. So I had so much fun doing this. I actually found this really easy to do when my kids were playing outside, and it has been so hot, you guys. I live in Florida, in case you did not know. It is practically the surface of the sun. It is 1 million billion trillion degrees. It's actually like 92, but the humidity is oppressive, okay? It's like walking outside and trying to breathe underwater. And this was much more fun to work on than like having wool yarn in my fingers while I was sitting outside with my kids. And I love it. And you know what's even better? Nova loves it. Nova is my 4-year-old. I think I'm gonna cut this out and put it on a tiny frame, like just as big as this. I'll have to see what kind of frame is available, and hang it in the bathroom that she uses because she thinks it's funny because it says the word poop. Children and potty words will never not be hilarious. Like, I did the word poop first and she was like, what is that? What does it say? What are those letters? And she was like, P, because she can recognize all of her letters. And I told her it said poop, and I swear she left for like 5 minutes. So this is definitely going in her bathroom. It's not her bathroom. It's like the bathroom the kids use. It's also the guest bathroom. It's the only bathroom with a bathtub. That's why it's the one they use, because they hate showers. But yes, I will be framing this and I will be putting it in the bathroom. And then every time she goes in there for one of her 15-minute poops, she can look at this and she thinks that the squirrels are hilarious. She thinks that the mushroom is hilarious. And I actually did a great job on this. I didn't have to rip anything out except this little tail portion of this squirrel. I had moved over 1 stitch. So I had to cut out maybe 7 or 8 stitches and redo them, but it's fine. The back is a bit messy, but not nearly as messy as my other cross stitch. So I know some people like to see the guts. No one's gonna see this because it's gonna be in a frame. But I love it. I'm so happy with this. Even though I eyeballed it and totally like misjudged where the center was, who cares? It's adorable. And that's the chart. Came with instructions. They have so many funny kits on their website, because after Emmy sent me this one, I went and looked at them and I was like, I've never heard of this company. What kind of cross stitch kits do they have? They're so funny. They're so funny. And they have all kinds of kits. So highly recommend. Third daughter, restless daughter. I loved it. I love making it. And this is definitely the kind of cross stitch that I want to work on, is something small, funny, with instant gratification. I love it. I need to make a picture for the cover for YouTube. So let's make this look beautiful, shall we? I can't make myself look beautiful because your girl has been outside in the humidity literally all morning. I have been to physical therapy for my elbow. I have chased my children around a restaurant. I am hot. I have put a sticky 1.5-year-old to bed. He is sticky today. I don't understand how or why. He's just sticky. So, you know, I'm wearing a Nickelodeon shirt. This is how we're unhinged today. But I need to make a beautiful YouTube profile picture, right? So we're gonna go have a nice poop. So that's my finished object. This is how much DMC thread I have left. I think that there was enough to do basically double. So if I messed up this entire thing, I would still have enough thread, I think, to be able to do the entire thing. I did get into one tangle and had to cut it out, and all of my leftovers Nova ran away with. So this is only the untouched thread. And there's something else I was going to tell you. Oh, so this cross stitch kit calls for 2 threads. So I was very confused about this on my first cross stitch. It took me like an entire day to figure this out. I thought that you cross stitched with this whole entire string, but that is not true. That's not true at all. In fact, what you do is you take this thread and you separate it because it has 6 strands in it. So it's basically, this is like a 6-ply yarn. There's 6 plies in each of these threads. And the pattern calls for you to use 2 of the 6 threads to stitch this. But this is 11 count Aida. Granted, this is only the 3rd cross stitch project I have ever worked on in my life, but I have worked the other 2 on 14 count Aida, meaning 14 holes to the inch with 2 threads. And I just thought it was gonna look a little too gappy with only 2 threads. So I used 3 instead of 2. And I think it came out really well. I honestly think I could have used 4. It might have been slightly tight, but it really fluffed it up. I do not think that using 2 threads would have worked as well for this. So that is done, and I am happy. And I need to organize my life somehow. The other cross stitch project has not had any love because I've only been focusing on this one, but working on that one made me want to pull out the other one. It is currently attached to the stand, but because I was working on that one and just holding it in my hand, it didn't bother my arm too much to do that. It didn't bother my hand too much. And I think I'm going to put this stand away for now, or at least in the closet where it's not like my children don't want to steal it from me every single day, and just try stitching on this in the hand. Not in the hand. I already told you I messed up what that meant, right? So stitching in the hand means you're just holding the fabric. You don't have a hoop. But what do you call it when you're stitching in a hoop but holding it in your hand? Just cross stitch? If you are a cross stitch extraordinaire, please let me know what the correct terminology is, because I am bound to be spreading misinformation about cross stitch on the internet. Anyways, my plan is to actually just start holding this and stitching on it. This has not gotten any love since the last time you saw it. It still says the bodies. Eventually it's going to say live, laugh, loot the bodies. And it's gonna have 2 little torches over here. The actual pattern calls for some extra symbols and stuff down here, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. And I think I will put this in the frame for the Have a Nice Poop one. Yeah, this is a little magnet to stick the needle on. I only have one of these, and I did not have a magnet. I didn't want to take it off of this one to transfer it to the other one, but man, I should have, because the amount of times I dropped this needle and had to frantically search for it so that one of my children did not step on it, find it, stab themselves in the toes or the eyeballs or the fingers or some other dangerous. So many times. So either I need to get more of these. Will I? Probably not. I'll probably forget. By the time I'm done recording this. And then in the next podcast episode, you will hear me complaining yet again about the lack of a magnet. So anyways, I really am going to work on this. I'm definitely going to work on this because that one made me really want to work on cross stitch. That's finished object number 1. Finished object number 2 is crochet. I have actually a lot of crochet to talk about. I was gonna say I only have knit socks, but that's not technically true. I lied to you. Okay, the finished object that I have is an amigurumi. It's a stuffy. It is living in this giant pink and black bag from my lovely friend Lynn over at Daybreak Knots and Knits. She makes all kinds of bags in all kinds of fabric, and they're fabulous, and all kinds of sizes. I obviously have the biggest size because I like a big honking bag, but you can get a smaller one if you want. And she makes these awesome paper towel things as well. They're like reusable paper towels. I don't have any from Lynn, but my sister-in-law gifted me something very similar for Christmas, and they're like almost little napkin squares. And I have been using them to clean Noah up after mealtime, and because they're so soft and they're so nice, as opposed to like a towel or a paper towel that you then have to throw away. So highly recommend reusable paper towels. And What a derp. Look at this derpy dinosaur. His head is crooked. Why is your head crooked, sir? Okay, some of you may remember that this is a dinosaur that I worked up to here and then was like, I'm going to frog him because his legs are crooked and I literally cannot stand it. I cannot stand that his legs are crooked. And also his butt was crooked. And also the whole thing was crooked. So that was because I had done the legs incorrectly. This is a free pattern. It's a free pattern that you can get on Instagram. It's one of these. I don't think I have the name of it because I literally just screenshot it off Instagram. I don't have the name of this. It's a Brontosaurus. I will link it below if you want to make it. This is not my favorite pattern to make. I don't think I will be making another one, even in a plushie yarn. It is a very cute Brontosaurus, but I have made plenty of amigurumi and I feel like I had some issues with this pattern. I didn't really understand, and of course I didn't really understand because an Instagram pattern is very sparse, right? And the pattern is free, so I shouldn't be complaining about it. But essentially I didn't understand how to join these legs properly. And so when I ripped it out and redid it, I really had a good think about it for like 10 minutes and then I figured out what I was doing wrong. And now the dinosaur is not crooked. He is correct. So the other thing is I counted my stitches and I had it at the beginning of the round marker, but I consistently felt like the beginning of the round was 1 or 2 stitches different than what the pattern says. And I don't know if that's just because I was doing something wrong or what, but like I had to move this tail over because it was not quite centered and I needed it to be centered. And I also had to move like the head. When I started increasing for the head, the increases were starting too soon. So I don't know. I don't really know about that. I embroidered some eyes on him. I really need to put some white here, but I don't know that I even own any white acrylic. I don't think I own any. And if I do, it's buried so deep I'll never find it. So I think I'm gonna give this to Noah. It's so cute. I held yarn double for this. What yarn did I hold double? This yarn, which is now attached to a different project. It is Premier something. Nope, that's the wrong label. This is Premier Yarns Basics Mosaic in the colorway something. Can you see how Prism? I was gonna say, can you see how prepared I am for this podcast? It's in the colorway Prism. It's 100% acrylic yarn. They sent me this yarn basically to like review. I love it. I loved holding it double. Love the color. I love how it worked up when you hold it double. Like there's no color pooling at all. And this is what the yarn looks like in the strand. Like it's very marly, 2 rainbow threads marled together. I highly enjoyed using this yarn. I will say, I was just working along on this, working, and I totally did the decreases on the back, regular decreases instead of an invisible amigurumi decrease. And you can tell. You should definitely do an invisible amigurumi decrease, not a regular decrease. But I didn't, I forgot. So anyways, this yarn is super fun. This guy is super fun. I think Noah will love him. No complaints. No complaints about the yarn at all, except this isn't about the yarn. This is about me. I hate embroidering eyeballs. Hate it with a passion. So I, in fact, went on Amazon after I had embroidered those eyeballs 3 times, mind you, because I'm terrible at it. And I ordered some safety eyes. Now, technically, I should still embroider eyeballs on Noah, anything I give to Noah, because he's only 1.5. But he doesn't tend to put a lot of things in his mouth. I don't know that I'm quite comfortable giving him something without safety eyes, but if I make other stuffies, like I'm so tired. I hate embroidering eyeballs. I'm just not very good at it. This is just like a kit of some kind that I got on Amazon, and it has basically black eyes, round eyes in different sizes. It has a few colored eyeballs in different sizes, and then it has randomly some pink, which actually those might not be eyeballs. Those might be noses. I don't know. It was not expensive, and I need some eyeballs. The reason I need eyeballs is because I'm still making stuff. in this yarn. So the next project that I am working on is a shrimp. I have just barely started it. Let me see if I can find shrimp amigurumi pattern. I'm making some rainbow shrimp. I got this on Etsy, I'm pretty sure, but I will link to it. If you would like the shrimp pattern, it will be linked below. It makes a small little shrimp, and this is how much I have so far. It's basically just a little cone hat. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. I have a stitch marker holding my loop, and I have a stitch marker marking the beginning of the round. Yes, I was gonna say, did I really start an increase round and then not finish it? Wouldn't put it past me, honestly. The last couple of things that are in this bag have not had much progress. This is a Little Drop of Wonderful from Allie, who is Little Drops of Wonderful. She has a free Little Drop of Wonderful pattern, and it looks like this. You can make it in any weight of yarn. This was already completed, and I had one leg completed previously, and I made one more. I still need to make 2 more of these. This is like holding me up beyond all reason. So I think that I'm going to try on the next one, because I have another one of these started. Instead of doing this like separately and then sewing them on, I'm gonna try doing bobble stitches, maybe, for the arms and legs, and just see how that looks. It may look ridiculous and I might frog it, I don't know. This is some Red Heart yarn that has sequins in it. If I can find the tag, I will tell you what it is. But there's honestly so many tags of yarn in here. It is Red Heart, an Italian Story loose yarn in the colorway Pietra, maybe? I don't know. It's 3.5 ounces, 100 grams, 218 yards. It's a really interesting fiber content. It is 46% nylon, 28% acrylic, 20% mohair, 6% polyester. And I just thought it would be fun to have a sparkly, oh, it's showing up so good, a sparkly Little Drop of Wonderful. The other one I am working on, I don't think it's had any progress. It's just the little top. So it's about this big. These do not take long at all. The Little Drop of Wonderful pattern is free. And there also is a poem that goes with it that is so cute about how you can knead a Little Drop of Wonderful and squish it and smash it and throw it and do all kinds of things, and it'll make you feel better. So I have somebody in mind I need to make this Little Drop of Wonderful for. My Crojo honestly has been missing. I just haven't felt like doing much. I aggravated my elbow a while ago, so I had to take like an entire week off. And then after that, I've just been so tired that by the end of the day, when I would have a little bit of time, maybe after the kids go to bed, to crochet and sit on the couch, I'm just like, I can feel like I'm so tired I can barely move, which there's a reason for that. We'll get into that in a minute. Now, what I have finished is that cross stitch, this derpy dinosaur, and one more thing. This is living in a bag that I got from my lovely friend Kalisha, who is Quirky Monday Craftcast, and she made these bags a long time ago. And what made me buy this bag, when she posted it, I was like, this is not the most like regal, fabulous lady you have ever seen in your life. I just was obsessed with this bag. I bought it immediately. It's been years now. I finished my little Mosu bag that I was working on. This is in Premier Anti-Pilling DK colors. You get 383 yards for 140 grams. It is a DK weight yarn, which y'all know I've talked about this before. I love a DK weight yarn instead of a worsted weight yarn. I think it's better for Florida. And this was a free pattern that I got off of a blog for a Japanese Mosu bag. I will link it below. I just basically copied it, just part of the pattern into Word and printed it, so I didn't have to keep pulling up my phone. Just because I needed the strap instructions. The rest of it I pretty much figured out. This is how much yarn I have left. Just a teeny little scrap amount. I used most of it. And here's my finished bag. I love it. It's a little wrinkly because it's been stuffed shoved in that bag, but I need to take a picture of it. So this is what you do with one of these bags. You essentially like knot it over and then it just hangs on your wrist. I made the straps slightly longer. I don't even know how long the straps were called for in the pattern, but I made mine longer. I literally just went until I felt like it was long enough. I had to interrupt your lovely programming to go wipe a butt. The joys of being a mom. You have to wipe a lot of butts. So yes, I really love this. I think it's great. I have not decided about lining yet. I thought about adding a border to these straps, and I tried a couple different things and it just looked ridiculous. Like it made it look so strange. So I was thinking about adding a border to reduce some of the stretch. I don't think I will be doing that. Oh, I didn't weave any ends in. So can I really call this a finished object? Maybe not. But so far, it has not been lined. I don't know if I'll line it or not. Probably not. But I love it. I think it's so cute. I love how the stripes worked up. I love that we started with blue and pink, and then we have blue and pink for the straps at the end. I loved working with this yarn. It was super soft. And what can we put in here? I feel like this will hold a bunch of stuff. Here's the whole project bag. And let's put a dinosaur. Let's see. Does this work? It totally works. We have a dinosaur. It's so cute. It's so cute. I'm really happy with it. So that's my finished objects. Cross stitch, dinosaur, and bag. Delightful. Now, what else have I been working on? I have some other works in progress to share with you. I have 2 pairs of socks, a shawl, a cardigan, and a rug. I've been working on a lot of stuff, y'all. Let's do sock progress. This is pretty much the only knitting I have been working on. And I have been working on this pretty sparingly because I have discovered knitting socks specifically actually aggravates my elbow more than anything else. So on this sock, this is number 1 of 2. There will be 2 socks eventually, but I have made it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stripes. I think I have 1 more stripe to do before I start the toe, and then this will be a sock that is completed, and I will need to make the second one. This yarn is Freckled Whimsy hand-dyed yarns. It is 75/25 merino nylon. It was a gift from my lovely friend, viewer of this podcast, Robin, a long time ago. And she gifted this to me because the colorway is called Little Nova. And I am so delighted to be working with this yarn. You can see it's a little bit wrinkly. That's not because of the yarn. I mean, it is because of the yarn, but it's not because of how the yarn came. This was worked up into another project for a long time that was not finished. And so I frogged it and restarted a sock. It will totally block out, no problem. And I'm really, really happy with those. It came with that golden mini as well for contrast toes, heels, and cuffs. The other sock I am working on, I think I'm getting close to the end on that one too. Is that possible? I wouldn't say I'm close to the end. This is Premier sock yarn from their sock kit. It is the it's like, I got the pink one. And I'm an affiliate for Premier Yarns, but also I love their yarn. If you choose to purchase Premier Yarns using my link below, it will, of course, help support the channel, but that will give me a few pennies of what you purchase at no extra charge to you. Full disclosure for legal requirements must say these things to you. But I purchased this sock kit myself, and it is the colorway Mary Mary. You get 2 50-gram balls. Is it 50 or 55? Yeah, 2 50-gram balls of the main color and 1 25-gram ball of the contrast color for toes, heels, and cuffs. The colorway is Mary Mary. I think I already said that. This is the contrast color, and this is the main color. Obviously, I had to get the pink one. Y'all know me. I will be able to get an entire pair of socks. These are shorty socks, of course, but out of 1 50-gram ball, so I'll still have an entire 50-gram ball left over. And this is my first completed sock. This one was done last time. I just love it. It's so me. It's so bright and so happy. The second sock is actually the same. And when I tell you I thought these were not gonna match, there was no way these were gonna match, the chances that this would match would be so small because the color repeat is actually this long. This is how long the color repeat is. And I just lucked out that I had ended really close to where this blue stripe was. I wasn't even sure if this second blue stripe was gonna be the same as that one or if it was gonna be like something else. But I wound off a tiny bit of yarn. I started the second sock with a blue stripe just so I could like have the tops looking similar. But actually, by accident, these match perfectly. So just be aware when you purchase the sock kit that the color repeats are super duper long. I have only used the contrast for the toe and the cuff. I just wanted to do the heel in the regular yarn. Sometimes I really like doing that because I think it like adds such wonderful interest to the sock. The last time you saw this, I had just cast the sock on. So I got a fair amount done, but as you can see, I've still got another probably 2 inches before I get to the toe. So I'm really happy with these. The fiber content on this, also fabulous because it's 50% merino, 25% rayon from bamboo, and 25% nylon, which means these will be super cool. And another of my most favorite socks that I've ever made has a very similar yarn content. And I'm really happy with these. So just be aware that the color repeat is long. These are just my current vanilla sock. So I cast on 64 stitches on 2.25 millimeter Chalgu red lace circular 9-inch needles. I go 15 rounds of 2x2 rib, 20 rounds for the cuff, fish lips kiss heel, knit all the way down the foot, and do a rounded toe. That's what I am doing currently. That may or may not work for you. You kind of have to find your perfect fit. I made other socks with different toes for a long time until I finally was like, I clearly need a rounded toe. And they've been fitting much better ever since. Next, I've been working on the shawl. This is a pattern designed by me. It was the first pattern I ever released. And it is my Treasure Island shawl. And the yarn that I am using has been waiting to be used for literally years. It is the Fiber Seed Sprout Sock, 90% merino, 10% nylon. It's a big skein, so you actually get 136 grams and 510 yards. It's the colorway Interstellar. So it basically came out when that movie came out, which tells you how long I have had this yarn. I purchased this at a local yarn store that does not exist anymore in my area. There is not a yarn store in St. Pete currently, and there has not been for a couple of years. Later this year, there is a yarn store opening in St. Pete, and it's called The Common Thread, and it's going to be a yarn store / coffee shop. So I'm hopeful that that will maybe help it stay in business. But I have made a big chunk of progress on this. This is where I was last time. I have finished the increases, started the decreases, and I think I have about this much left. So that is not a lot of crochet because of course I'm decreasing every single row. We talked about this last time, but I did not know that this skein was gonna be as variegated as it was. I thought it was more tonal. And the reason I wanted to make this shawl again was to have a more tonal variety of this shawl because my other one is a variegated one. So you can't really see the lace pattern. So in fact, I've just made myself another variegated one, but I do love it. And if you get really close, and of course, once it's blocked, you will be able to see the lace. Let's see if I can. There. That's what the lace looks like. It's beautiful. It's soft. It's delightful. It's curling a little bit, but that will block out. And I am really just happy. I'm really happy with it. It works up quickly because you use a big hook. There's no fancy stitches. It's just easy and delightful. This is how much yarn I have left. And I'm happy with it. I'm really happy with it. Excited to have that as a finished object soon. The last crochet project I have to show you is my artist cardigan. I have started a sleeve. Now, let me dig it out. It's got multiple balls of yarn attached to it. So we need to be careful. Careful, careful. Here we go. Let me show you. The artist cardigan pattern looks like this. It is crocheted. It is not knit, even though it looks like it's knit. I've scribbled all over the pattern. It is a free pattern by Nordana Crafts, and I have finished the body, and I have started on the left sleeve. I have actually joined the shoulder together. The yarn I'm using for this is Audine Wool's Knit Crate Twinkle DK. This was a gift from my friend Amanda. The colorway is Knit Yorker, 80% merino, 10% cashmere, 10% stellina. And I can't remember if there were 4 or 5 of these balls. I mean, not 5, 4 or 5. 5 or 6 of these balls, I can't remember. But there is enough. There's so many stitch markers attached to this thing. It's very loud. So I have one ball that's attached to the body still, because once the sleeves are done, I'm gonna start the collar, like border collar. And I have one ball that's attached to the sleeve. So let's see how we could do this. This is the body. So the body is entirely done. The last time you saw this, I was here. So I've done all of this. I finished all the short rows for the left front, and I did not fasten off because we're gonna do a border up here and around the neck, but you can't do the border until you've joined the sleeves or joined the shoulders, because these are in 2 separate panels. This whole thing is worked side to side. And so I have joined the top of the shoulder. Is that not a cool detail? This detail on the shoulder join is why I picked this pattern, because there was another very similar pattern using yarn over slip stitches, and I just thought the shoulder decal on this was so cool. I did mess up one row of this and had to rip it out and redo it like twice. I also messed up how many stitches I picked up around here, and I tried to fudge it and it didn't work, so I had to rip that out. But I think I got it, and for the right shoulder, it will be a lot easier. So you actually work this straight off and back and forth in rows, using short rows just like the rest of the pattern. Let's see here if I can finagle my way into this pattern. Of course, the other side is not gonna work because it is not completely joined. So this is where we're at. I added length to the pattern because I have a long torso, and I did the gauge and I was like, I need to add 2.5 inches. I think that worked up to be like 12 stitches I needed to add. I ended up adding 10 stitches just for ease of math. And this is a superwash yarn, so I figure it will grow a little bit, but I don't need to add any length at all to the sleeves for the size I'm making. I don't know if I can. I'm pulling it kind of because it's not gonna stay, but I worked out the math for the gauge to see if this would work. And I have been holding it up to my arm, and I think that it will be perfect. It will still be a little long. If you watched my last video on bodies, you know I have short arms. This thing, once it's blocked, like the sleeve's supposed to hit you right here, right? I don't prefer that. I prefer the sleeve to hit me right here, but once it's blocked, it's probably gonna be down here, which is totally fine with me. I prefer a little bit of a long sleeve, but the fact that this sleeve is still gonna be too long, adding 0 length at all, is hilarious to me. Truly hilarious. So yeah, I'm hopeful that the sleeves will work up fairly quickly, because you basically have to crochet into all of these stitches, and some of them are short rows for the decreases, but I really don't know how it's gonna go, and I don't know what my mojo will be, but I am happy about it, and I can't wait to have this finished. It's still got a lot. It's still got a ways to go. I've got 2 sleeves to do and then a collar, but I am highly enjoying it. I love the color of the yarn. I think it's perfect, and it's not like I'm gonna be able to wear it anytime soon because it's summertime in Florida. So yes, that's the Artist Cardigan. Highly recommend the pattern. I think it's top notch, top notch. The last project that I am working on is a rug. So I made a video about my last Joann's haul ever, and in it I showed this crazy yarn. It is Big Twist Tubular yarn. You get 40 yards for 750 grams. This yarn is heavy. I got 6 of these balls of yarn. This yarn retails, so they said, for like $25.99 or some nonsense. Would never pay that in a million years. But with the 80% off, this was 2 days before they closed, 80% off plus another 30% off of that total, this yarn ended up being like $3 a ball. So I bought all that they had with the specific intention to make a little kind of, not a yoga mat, but like a little meditation mat or rug. so that when I am sitting on my little meditation butt pillow, trying to calm down from the stress of having small children, my ankle bones, I like to sit crisscross applesauce. My ankle bones will not be on the hard floor. Like, I don't know, my bones are just sensitive to being on anything hard. When I was a kid, I did ballet, and not that it helped me be more graceful, but I did ballet, and I have distinct memories of this particular recital where me and several other girls we had to wait like basically like a whole minute, maybe 2 minutes before our part of the dance came up, and we were part of the background. So we were sitting basically in a lunge position. Like I had one knee on the ground and the other leg up, and we were doing this for 1 to 2 minutes. No big deal, right? It hurt my knees. It hurt my knees as a kid, and I remember complaining about it and the teacher being like, toughen up, buttercup. Which I didn't. I am not tough. I am still not tough. Even if I do yoga, I find that when I'm on my kneecaps, I need there to be more padding. So I need to either put 2 yoga mats, I need to have like an extra little cushion under my knees. My knees just do not like being on hard surfaces, neither do my ankle bones. And this is a way for Joanne to live on in memoriam forever and ever. I'm gonna be real like bougie and say meditation practice. I don't really have a meditation practice. I literally go sit on a pillow and I just close my eyes and breathe, which technically, yes, that's meditation, but I'm doing it like because life is overwhelming. I realize I'm describing meditation, but I don't feel like I have a meditation practice. It's not like I regularly or consistently show up. It's not something that I prioritize. It is more like an emergency stopgap measure where I'm like, I'm about to have a meltdown. I will see y'all in 10 minutes. So maybe I need to prioritize it more, but you know what? There's all kinds of things I need to prioritize, and none of them are getting prioritized because I have kids. And school's out for the summer. Okay, are you ready to see the mat? Here is my very fancy pattern that I wrote up myself. It is on the back of an envelope of a card that my friend Emmy sent me. And I basically, Nova got into this and basically completely opened the envelope. So I was like, well then, I'm just gonna use it as my pattern. It's not technically like a pattern, it's just the rate of knit increases. So I started with 6 stitches, and then I increased in every single stitch the first round, knit around, increase every other stitch the second round. So I'm basically like increase knit, increase knit, increase knit down to the whole thing. I am currently at 5 stitches in between increases, which means I have done 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 rows plus the beginning. I wrote it out all the way to 20. There's no way I'm gonna get to 20. Absolutely no way. I am on my second ball of yarn. This yarn is essentially a cotton knit fabric tube with polyester stuffing inside, like fiberfill. It says use a 15 millimeter hook for this yarn. I have a 15 millimeter hook. Absolutely not. On no planet do these go together. Like, this does not grab this yarn at all. Like if I wedge it under there, it still barely grabs it. Like it pulls off immediately. I tried crocheting with this. It killed my elbow, first of all, and I got through like 1 round. And it was so frustrating fighting with the hook. I tried to finger crochet it, that also killed my elbow. I do definitely not have any size of knitting needle for this yarn. This yarn is crazy. I would say if you are planning, you have any of this yarn and you're gonna crochet with it, you need a 25 millimeter hook to comfortably crochet with this, not a 15 millimeter. Literally no way that will ever work. So I then switched to finger knitting. I think that I will have enough yarn to get a good enough size mat. If for some reason I don't, I'll frog it. And Aquila, who is Aquila of the Left Eater podcast, hi friend, I love her podcast. She makes the most, like the widest spectrum of things, and I'm always fascinated by what you make. She commented and said I could do like a coil rug, like basically I could use, for example, a worsted weight acrylic yarn and crochet around this yarn and make it a coil rug. I will do that if this is not big enough. But this is how big it is currently. I love it. I love it so much. I had the most trouble with the beginning. So I did a magic ring. I tried doing a long tail cast on of like 4, and then I tried doing a long tail cast on of 6, and then just going around, like joining in the round, it just would not work. It made this like poof in the middle, which I hated. This still is a slight poof, but I think that I can smush that down and it will be fine. I can also tighten this magic ring. This is what the inside of the yarn looks like. So yeah, literally fiberfill. This yarn is so cool. It's so plush, it's so squishy. So I am essentially finger knitting this. It is curling like nobody's business, and I don't wanna handle it too much because these loops are on nothing. There's nothing keeping them from unraveling. So this is what it looks like. I am not doing any specific kind of increase. I'm just going under the loop. Let's see if I can show you. Where's the beginning? Right here. So if this is my beginning stitch and I'm going to do an increase, like regularly I would just work into this. I'm actually pulling the yarn through this part first and then pulling the yarn through this part. So I'm not doing like a make one right, make one left. I'm just shoving the yarn in where it goes. I'm gonna need to border it with ribbing of some kind, which means I'm gonna have to wrap my brain around finger purling. I need to put a ribbing border on it or something because otherwise it's going to curl. I am halfway through the second ball of yarn and I have 6 of these. Of course, it's taking exponentially more yarn the more I work it. But I think it's wonderful and it is very squishy. Like this will be the perfect thing to put under my ankle bones. And it's purple. It's purple and I love it so much. I love it so much. What are the washing instructions on this? Like, can I wash this when it's done or never? Like to make it a little less stiff? What does it say? It doesn't say, well, it did say, but it got ripped off. So I don't know if it says anymore. It's kind of hiding. Do not iron, do not dry clean. I think I have another label of this in the back, so I'll have to go look at it. But I think it will relax a little bit. I might be finger knitting it too tightly. Wouldn't it be crazy if my finger knitting gauge is just as ridiculously tight as my actual knitting gauge? I am tight. Tight knitter and tight crocheter. So yeah, I have never finger knit anything because I generally do not enjoy the process. But this with huge yarn, I am kind of enjoying it. And I love how it looks. I love the little star in the middle. And I am hopeful that I will have enough to make it just big enough to be a little round meditation mat. I don't think that it will be big enough for me to sit in the middle, but I think I could put like the little butt pillow back here and have my feet on this part and it would be absolutely perfect. So delightful. I'm really enjoying that. I wonder how far I will get in my increase list. Who knows? Who knows? I've been working a little bit each day because it is very strenuous on this arm. And I had physical therapy this morning and that was definitely the hardest physical therapy I have had to date. Like, she made me use a 3-pound weight. Oh my Lord. It was so heavy, y'all. So heavy. So that is all of the yarn and things that I have to show you. I think 9 projects is enough projects. Granted, the last time I uploaded a regular podcast was a month ago because 2 weeks ago I uploaded about bodies. So this has been collecting for a while, but I feel like that was a lot. Go me, go me. I just hope that my Crojo comes back and I'm not so tired. Whoa! Y'all let me spill the tea on why I'm so tired. So I've been complaining about being tired for, I don't know, ever since children. I've been complaining about being tired, like literally so tired all the time. I feel like I can make it till like 11:30 a.m. and then I'm like, I need a nap. I will fall asleep. Putting Noah to sleep at night, I will fall asleep. Putting him for a nap. I could fall asleep right now if I laid down on the couch. Like it would take me 3 minutes and I would just doze off. Like I'm just so tired. I had blood work in December and I asked the doctor at the time, my doctor, I was like, I'm so tired. Can you please check my iron and my vitamin D and like whatever else might make me tired? He said he did. I had blood work. I didn't have access to the online portal to like look at the results myself. But when I had a follow-up appointment with him, it was also the same appointment for me to get cleared for surgery. So we kind of skimmed over the blood work results, but he was like, yeah, your vitamin D is fine. Everything else is fine. It's in normal range. So I don't know why you're tired. But I knew I was getting a different doctor. In May, I had to wait for a long time to get an appointment with her. And I asked her, I was like, dude, I'm just so tired. Can you, and she's like, oh, we'll do some blood work. I had my blood work Tuesday morning. It's Thursday. Last night, the results came in. And literally, my iron is a 9. 9. Normal iron stores in your body are anywhere from like 15 to 100. I'm at a 9. A 9, you guys. And I was like, oh my gosh, what was it in December? Because that's a big deal to have iron that low. I guess I'm not technically anemic because there's still iron circulating in my blood, like enough to keep me alive and things like that. But like the actual store of iron, the available iron in my body for my body to use is super, the doctor said very, very low. So I went back, now that I have access to the online portal to look at these results, I went back to December and I was like, what was my iron then? And I discovered that the previous doctor did not even test my iron. He tested vitamin D and vitamin B12, but not iron. And I was like, first of all, specifically requested iron. Also, what is the number one thing you test when women complain about being tired? It's iron, because we have menstrual cycles and we are constantly losing blood. So a lot of women have low iron or are anemic, etc. And I have had 2 babies and 2 miscarriages. Like, when I tell you, when I was pregnant with Noah, I was very sick when I was pregnant with Nova and Noah. But Noah in particular, when I was pregnant with him and when I was nursing him, I would dream about steak. Like, I have never experienced that in my life. Like, I would just be like, I need steak. I need a burger. Like, I need cow. And it's just not who I am. Like, I mean, I like a steak, but I don't think about steak. I don't dream about steak. I don't crave steak. And the entire time I was nursing, anytime Josiah was like, hey, do you want to order food? Do you want to go get food? Of course, before I realized that he has all these food intolerances, I was like, give me a burger, give me a steak. Like, I need the red meat. And now I'm like, obviously this makes sense. Like, he literally sucked out all of the iron out of my body. So the doctor wrote me like an online message last night and said that the iron was very, very low. Said I was not technically anemic, but that my B12 is also technically considered normal. But she was like, it's on the low end of what I would want for you. And given that your iron is so low, I'm going to say that your B12 is also significantly affecting you. So they're going to, in the next, whenever they get to that message, I had to respond, in the next day or two, send in a prescription for me for iron and B12, I believe, to my local pharmacy. And I'm grateful for that. I know that there's supplements that you can buy yourself, but if they send in a prescription for it, then the insurance will pay for it. And I won't have to be out of pocket for those supplements, because we've already met our out of pocket max for the year for our entire family. Like, if we spend, what was the last time I checked it? It was like, if we spend $90 more on our family. So Josiah, Nova, or Noah, if we spend $90 more total on them, everything else for the year, as long as it's in network and is covered, because the amount of money on medical bills. Because I have had elbow surgery, Noah broke his foot. Noah had 2 ER trips, 1 for a foot, 1 for constipation. Nova had her adenoids out. That was technically a surgery. Noah is about to get an endoscopy. All kinds of stuff going on there. I give a lot of baby Noah updates in the member section and the Patreon. I don't want to put his business all out on the internet because he's so little. But he has been just struggling so hard with his tummy since he was born. We had an appointment yesterday that was strange, and I'm hopeful that it will work. I don't know. I feel like we've tried everything at this point, but as of right now, he's going to get an endoscopy and they're going to see what's going on in there. I hope they don't see anything, honestly, because if they see something, then that means it's really serious and it's not something he can necessarily outgrow. So I don't know. If you want to know more about Noah's health issues, I just keep his and Nova's. I try to keep their information a little bit private because people are weird on the internet. I gotta protect my kids. So yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that having iron and B12 will help me not feel so tired every day, all day. But who knows? So we're gonna try it. It's June, July, August. I'm gonna recheck the lab in 3 months and we'll see. I hope that I start to feel better because I'm just so tired all the time. Like, and granted, I need a lot of sleep anyways. It's like so easy for me to gaslight myself and be like, oh, but I always have needed a lot of sleep. Like, I'm always tired. Things overwhelm me easily. And I was like, but I don't know, because after Nova was born, like there were days where I would lay on the floor and be so tired that I physically could not get up. Like, she'd be playing around me or on top of me and I had to lay on the floor and let her do that because I was so tired that I couldn't sit up. And I would say it's not that bad with Noah, but I will fall asleep. Like, it takes me 10 minutes to rock him to sleep for a nap. I will fall asleep. I will doze off for 10, 15, 20 minutes in the chair. And that actually is helpful. It helps me get through the rest of the day. I was doing that quite a bit when Nova was in school, but she's not in school anymore. She's out for the summer, so I can't just doze off because she'll come barging in and be like, I need you to wipe my butt. So she's having her quiet time right now, but it's, I'm gonna guess, within 5 to 10 minutes that will be over. And then I'm gonna have to keep her quiet until he wakes up. They have swim lessons. They just started this week. They're both loving it. She needs them because she needs to learn how to swim because she's like afraid. And he needs them because he is not afraid. That boy is not afraid of anything except being away from his mama, which is so sweet. So yeah, I feel like I've been talking a long time. Like, my throat feels like it's been talking for a long time. This is probably gonna be a long video, maybe a little disjointed, definitely unhinged. So if you've made it this long, you know you're my favorite. You're my favorite. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so happy to share this yarn joy with you. And hopefully in 2 weeks, we will have lots more to talk about. Maybe we'll have some significant progress on the coolest purple rug ever. Just maybe. So until I see you again, happy crafting. Find something that makes you smile and do it. Do it. Whether it be make yourself a fancy coffee, make yourself a cup of tea, get a snack, work on crochet, work on knitting, work on cross stitch, work on sewing, sit on the couch and stare at the wall and do nothing. Happy June. Bye, friends.